How you guys doing? Chris Ignato here, and thanks for stopping by my channel. Now, as you can tell, it's winter, and that means snow. My favorite part of winter. I love me a good snowstorm. But some of you might want to still get a taste of the outdoors without actually braving the elements. Some people just don't like snow. I love it. So, one thing you can do is make yourself a nice, tasty cup of pine needle tea. Get it nice and hot, and sit down in the safety and comfort of your home, maybe in front of the fireplace or a great episode of Game of Thrones, and enjoy a taste of the outdoors without actually being outside in the snow. So I'm gonna harvest me some pine needles. White pine is my favorite. Pitch pine is my second favorite. And I'll show you how to make a good cup of pine needle tea. So behind me is a pine tree. A really easy way to identify pine needles is the fact that they generally grow in clusters. Like you have here. Okay, they come out in little bundles, and I'll show you up close when we get inside. Each species generally has a specific number of needles coming out of each tiny little bundle. I'm going to cut me off a small branch, bring them inside, and get ready to make the tea. So this should be more than enough pine needles for a couple of cups of tea. So now that I've got my pine needles, check it out, and let's get inside. Okay, so let me help you identify white pine really quickly. For starters, you all know what pine trees look like and pine needles, right? These long needles, which actually tightly round up leaves. I'll show you that sometime. Now, an easy identification, real simple, is these needles grow in little bundles. Okay, see those little bundles coming off? Let me find a bundle. Pluck a bundle off and then count the needles. This bundle has 5 needles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Can you see that? White pine has 5 needles. In fact, I think it's the only pine in North America that has 5 needles. I'm not sure on that. A real easy tip to keep that in memory is the word white has 5 letters. White pine has 5 needles. Okay? Keep that in mind. This is my favorite. This and pitch pine are the best tasting ones in my opinion. They sometimes have much longer needles. Okay? This one doesn't. I'm not a tree expert, but these are good tips to remember. So now what I like to do is I pluck off all the little bundles. Some people pull the little papery sheaths off the tip of the pine clusters of the needle bundles because sometimes it has a lot of tannin flavor. With white pine, I don't really mind at all, so I leave them on. Okay, I moved the camera a little bit for better lighting. So what I'm doing is I'm plucking off tons of the bundles until I have enough to add up to about the diameter of a quarter or 25 cents. Okay? I have a nice bundle right there. Okay? Look how thick that is. Now, what I'll do is make another bundle of the same size, because I'm making a cup for my girlfriend too, and then I'll start to dice them up, because more surface area gives you more flavor. Pine needle tea is great to ward off colds and stuff in winter because of the vitamin C content. There is way more vitamin C in these than there is in an orange, pound for pound. Really great stuff, and if you add the rose hips to it, you have a tremendous amount of vitamin C there, which is really good, as you know, for fending off colds. Keep that in mind. So now I have 2 bundles of pine needles right here, and that'll be perfect for 2 cups of pine needle tea. Okay, I like to have my pine needle tea. I like to have my pine tea a little bit on the stronger side because it is a light, delicate flavor. But also how long you steep or simmer the needles also changes the strength of flavor and also some of the properties. In fact, some of the medicinal properties are vary depending on how long you heat it and all that good stuff. Now let me show you the next step. You could actually just take the bundles as they are and boil them in the water. Or what I've done before is taken a few twigs, like so, and I just stick them in the water and boil it up like when I'm camping or something. But if I've got the means, dicing them up and stuff is my favorite thing to do, but then you have to strain them, so keep that in mind. So now I'm going to dice my needles. A good pair of scissors really makes this an easy task, but usually I use a knife or I just tear them, and I'll show you that right now. Often I just twist and pull. See? And I break them up. But a pair of scissors really makes short work of this and allows me to get smaller dicings. See that? Now for this tea, I'm actually going to mix the two together and just divide it in half once it's done. So I'm going to cut them all and pile them together. Now I actually like to have some of these little buds in there just because I like the flavor and stuff, but a lot of people prefer to remove them because the tannins are a bit too strong, makes it a little bit bitter for some people. Okay, so for the interest of lighting and stuff, I'm continuing to film this part here in front of the windows because over at the stove it's really dark. So I'm going to add my needles to the pan. I'm just going to put them in just like that. Then I'm going to measure out 2 cups of water. Filtered water is always best. Yay! And then I'm going to add a 2nd cup of water because we are serving 2 people. So, it's as easy as that. What I'm going to do now is heat it on the stove. I'm going to simmer it for about 15 minutes actually. Make it really hot but not boiling. I'll stir it once in a while just to make sure that the water and heat is getting to every nook and cranny on those needles. And then when it's good to go, I'll filter it out into 2 cups and we will drink our tea. You know what? I'm going to add a few cranberries in here just for flavor. Why not? Okay, so there we have it. It's been simmering for about 15 minutes, actually probably a bit longer. The cranberries have all sunk in. Most of the needles have sunken down, and they've actually taken on a slight brownish tinge. So this is good to go. Okay, so now I'm going to grab this strainer looking doohickey, and I'm going to pour the needles, and I'm going to pour the tea through this and filter out the needles. And the tasty tea will go into the receptacle below, and then we'll be ready to serve. Oops. Okay, I'm going to pour my serving here. Look at that beautiful color. Even Mouse wants some. So there you have it, guys. Pine needle tea with a hint of cranberry. It smells amazing. And it tastes even better. You can taste the vitamin C. Really good stuff. Well, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Once again, I'm Chris Ignato, signing out.